Why hello there, fellow magical cats. Rodamon here. Thank you for tuning in to the first episode of a new series covering Mistpaw Ravine. If you would like to skip the game's overview, please use YouTube chapters. Mistpaw Ravine is a game about magical cats building a cozy home for themselves to protect from a world ravaged by magic. The world is filled with gloom and blight, and the cats need to build an industrious city to cope with the difficulties of living in a wasteland. Will our cats survive? And this game will release in about a week and a day, something like that. Let's get going. Let's start a new game. Settlement name, Yardaville. And default cat color, random. I like all colored cats. We won't just make them one specific color. For the advanced settings, I'm not going to change anything. Keep it all on completely normal. And I'm not going to skip the tutorial so that you will be filled in on what's going on. All right, welcome. So here we go. Gathering wood. The lantern is working, boss. The mist has cleared just enough to start our settlement. Let's start collecting resources so we can get building. So here's our little cats. And our first task is to place woodcutters near trees. So I'll put a woodcutter here. And I'll put a woodcutter here. Constructing buildings. Cats without any other jobs will automatically construct buildings you place. Once completed, an available cat will assign themselves to the woodcutter and start working. It's worth noting in the top left, we have a total population, 11, 9 adults, and 2 kittens. Kittens do not work. Of those 9 adults, all 9 are unassigned to work tasks, so all 9 can be haulers and builders. And as soon as these 2 facilities are done, you'll see that number drop to 7, because 2 will become woodcutters instead. And there we go. As you can see, they're woodcutters. All right, collecting mist. We need to start clearing the mist so that we can expand. We'll also need it to create water. Your new handheld lanterns are perfect for this. So, this is a mist collector. A mist collector collects this shrouded mist here. There's a stink bug. My office is like infested with stink bugs. I try to get rid of them, but they're winning. And we need to build 2 mist collectors. One feature of this game is that the mist here is perpetually encroaching upon you, like Zerg creep, I guess. And you have to keep it at bay by collecting it. But it is also a collectible resource, because it will give you mist extract. And there we go. Creating rivers. We need water so that we can start growing food for our cats. Mist extract can be converted into water using a water source. Build a water source on an empty ravine. Its worker will begin producing water and create a river. Ensure it is powered by placing it within the range of the town center. If you are out of cats, you can pause another building to free up its workers. Buildings can be paused by selecting them and clicking the pause button. So pause button would be here. Yeah, pause button. Nah, they didn't spell it like that. There's also a priority, or you can hit minus to change the amount of employees. Of the 4 buildings we've made so far, they only have 1 employee each, but some buildings that you build later on can employ more than 1. So we need to build a water spout. And a water spout converts mist extract into water and produces enough water to fill a 3x3 ravine. Basically, it creates 9 tiles of water. So I'm going to put that right here. And it needs to pour into a ravine. So these darker colored map tiles are the ravines. And you've got our mist collectors collecting the mist. And soon, as soon as we get the wood for the water spout, we'll have them delivering the materials to the water spout and then creating our own water. And Kilgore, thank you for the resub. And yes, they're flying around on broomsticks. Canonically, these are cats that were left over when all the humans died off, and these cats were owned by witches. So they're magical cats. Named Blueberry, and Gravy, and Mozzarella, Rye, Condiment. Condiment was not beloved by their owners, I guess. Fettuccine, Jam, Alfredo. They got cute food names. Alright, here we go. All 8 wood was delivered to the water spout, and we're going to get some produced water pretty soon. Loaf. Of course its name is Loaf. Must be fat. A fat cat that likes to lay down. Alright. And here we go. Now, it did mention within the range of the town hall. So it's kind of hard to see, but there's a box here. And this is the sphere of influence of the power grid. The town center is a power producer. It only produces 15 power. So we're using 5 of that 15 to power up the water spout. Hey, Sashi. Thank you for the resub. What about sauerkraut and borscht? Maybe soon. Farming. Farmers plant and harvest crops. Build a farmhouse near your water spout. Crops must be first placed within the range of the farmhouse before farmers will get to work. Crops must be placed on grass in order to grow. Unwatered crops will not grow and eventually die. So now that we have a water spout, it's going to fill the ravine with water and irrigate the surrounding areas, turning it green. And what we need to do is we need to place a farmhouse so that we can farm on that green. So I'm going to put the farmhouse here. I really want to put it here, but I need to cut the trees down there. So I think what I'm going to do is move the woodcutter to here to prioritize cutting this dead tree so that I can put the farmhouse there. You're sending some love to Condiment? Well, thank you. Salt, Plum, Jam, they have great names. And what I can do is I can put the farmhouse down and then just like move it later on. So I'll just get it built and then move it into position where I want it later on. It does not look like mist extract takes up room in storage. It does. It's just the mist collectors have an internal storage up to 10, as do the woodcutters. So each collection facility has its own internal storage, which will eventually fill up. But we're going to get into storing items or stuff later on. We're not there yet in the tutorial. Alright, I would say it's going to be more important for us to clear the trees around the farming area than it is to cut down the trees where it is not irrigated, because these trees will block us from growing crops here. So I'm going to move the other woodcutter to this area as well. The farmhouse itself has a sphere of influence as well. It cannot sow crops beyond its range. So I'm going to plop it there. And then we need to plant 20 radrads, which are like radishes. But more wouldn't hurt. And the lowest row is out of range. There we go. Perfect. So now the farmhouse is getting built. It can employ 2 cats. And as we clear the forest land here, I'll grow more rads in the area. So now pretty much every single irrigated spot around the farmhouse has rads being planted. Poop! Yep, poop. Your cats like to poop after they eat. If they do not have litter box, they poop on the floor, making nearby cats stinky. Cats do not like to be stinky. As your number of cats grow, be sure to build more litter boxes to support them. Okay, so a litter box will have a sphere of influence as well. I'm going to put a litter box here. Let's put it right... Actually, you know what? I'm going to put it right here. I'm going to rip up one of these rads and plop it right next to the farmhouse. You know, like fertilizer. It's not really. And then I'll build another one over here to cover the two areas. As you can see, they have a sphere of influence, and any cat outside of the sphere of influence will not travel there to poop. So you should basically cover everything that can be covered with litter boxes. You don't need to overlap them necessarily, but you should definitely have a lot of good coverage. So there we go. Getting the litter boxes going. Joker, thank you for the resub. And I hope you're having a wonderful day too. Cheers. Welcome to a stream of magical cats. Alright, this mist collector is full. I'm going to leave it there though. And we're getting the rats planted. And they need to be watered and grow slowly over the course of about 10 minutes. And we are clearing out all these trees. There we go. We built our first litter box. And it's covering pretty much everywhere, except for... And there's the second one. And if we collect both, there's a little bit of overlap here, but basically it covers both. Storing resources. We'll need dedicated storage buildings to store all our resources. Assign a storage building stored resource after place and selecting it. So, build 2 stockpiles, set 1 to wood, set 1 to rads, build liquid storage, and set it to mist extract. It's also worth noting that like all buildings can be moved for free, so you don't really need to worry about where to put them. So here we go. I'm going to do... And M is the hotkey for movement. So this is going to be for wood. This is going to be for rads, and this is going to be for mist extract. And all the resources we have are up here for reference. So like right now we only have 20 mist extract, which is the total of the sum of the internal storages of the 2 mist extractors that we have. The thing is, it's the only thing keeping the like mist at bay, these extractors. So if they internally fill up, your farmland or buildings can be overtaken by the mist. They won't be destroyed, but they won't be able to operate either. So it is really good to have storage for the stuff so that you can prevent your buildings from being disabled by the mist. So here, as you can see, Fettuccine is bringing storage. The other thing is the dedicated storages will have a little icon of what they're storing there. So the little radish or rad icon signifies this is a rad storage, and then the mist icon signifies this is a liquid storage. So you can tell at a glance for what it's dedicated towards. And we're getting that last stockpile now. Homes for cats. This settlement will not succeed without happy cats. Build homes to increase their happiness and allow kittens to be born. Kittens will only be born if you have enough homes to house them. So we need 5 homes. And I'm going to do it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that is going to be a lot of wood. We'll need 50 wood to complete that, so it's going to take a minute. The one danger of trying to farm, like, nearly at the edge of the farming zone here is this could be... we could lose this area to the mist as well. So it might be, like, farming tasks not worth the effort, but I'm going to do it anyway, because we already have a lot of rad-rads planted. Alright, in this case, what I'm going to do is prioritize the houses with this priority arrow. The other way to prioritize things is you can click the cursor tools, and I can, like, change all the priorities that I click on to, like, 1, 2, or 3 with the priority tools down here. So both ways work. But in this case, I want, rather than 5 houses to be partially built, at least 1 house to be built fully, and then move on to the next one, so on and so forth. We're doing a pretty good job of chopping all the trees around the farmland, which will allow us to reclaim it and start planting productive crops on it. And there's a little house. A home for cats. As we clear more of the trees, obviously, we'll have more resources for that as well. Alright, 17 minutes till you grow up, and you are 1 minute to grow up. So we're about to not even have kittens. Houses look like the beds that your cats would refuse to go into. Yeah, same here for Yoda. But mostly because Yoda wouldn't be able to climb into a cat tower. He was not that kind of agile. To be fair, I'm not either. David, thank you for the resub. So you can see up here how many unsheltered we have and how many sheltered we have. So it's like 6 and 5. So it's a good way to keep track of homelessness, if you will. But our lovely little farm looking pretty good. It's expanding for sure. And there we go. One of the kittens just grew up into an adult. So here's Blueberry learning the ways of flying a broom as an adult now. And we're 1 home away from every cat having a home. And here I'm just like moving around the workstations so that we have more space for farming. I am, for the record, way over farming. The game only asks you to plant 20. I've planted, I don't know, like 40 something, I'm gonna guess. Maybe even more. But like, why not? That would be my counter argument. Not a very strong one, but does it hurt to have too much food? It does not. Here we go. Advanced resource production. Planks are needed to construct many buildings. They are made in a sawmill using wood. Make sure the sawmill is powered by placing it in range of the town center. Buildings can be relocated by selecting them and hitting the relocation button. So for now, I'm going to put it here so that we can start making planks. Is it a good idea to have a patch of this mist so it could spread? It's always spreading. It's perpetually spreading. You don't need to like try to farm mist if that's what you're asking. It's not necessary. The game basically will throw you the complete opposite problem, where you'll have too much mist, and later on in the game there are methods to deal with that problem. The other thing we're probably going to want, paired with the sawmill, is storage, because the sawmill is going to be storing planks of wood. So I'll just build the planks stockpile now. The tutorial, I forget whether it asks me to do that or not, but I'm just going to do it anyway. And we have more rads than what we started with. We started with 90, we have more than 90, so we are obviously in a net positive of food, which is a good thing. Here we go, here's the sawmill. And it's worth noting the sawmill takes 5 power draw, so we'll be down to 5 power left over. I wonder who's working this thing. But either way, gathering mana. Mana is used to unlock new buildings. Cats working at a mana accumulator will gradually gather mana over time. So I'll plop this thing here. And as we chop down more of the trees, obviously I'll be able to move buildings around and have like the concept of neighborhoods or something like that, but obviously we're not quite there yet. So let's go build a mana accumulator. And that will be the remaining 5 power that we've got left over. I'm actually going to intentionally kill off some of the crops up this way. Leave that area empty. So our mana accumulator is waiting on 10 planks to be able to build, which is why it's occasionally going to throw errors over here of like, there's not enough resources, build site lacks resources, is because we're waiting on the planks to be manufactured. And we have a whole lot of new kittens. Macaroni, sesame, pasta, raspberry. There's one other. Oh, there you are. No, that was all of them. All 4. And that's because we had space in our homes for them. We had space for up to 15. Yeah. Rad like it's me. I'm contemplating, well, for now, because we are still struggling with keeping the mist at bay, I'm just going to keep the water where it is now. But obviously we have a very small swath of land to work with, as a lot of it is mystifying. I'm sorry. And this is one of those situations where the mist collector can be told to work in a different area to prioritize a different area to clear. So for instance, putting a mist collector here will start to clear the southeast corner of the farm rather than clear further up this way. So you can use the mist collectors as like land reclamation as well. I mean, that's a huge portion of what they do, because we're not using nearly we're gaining a lot more mist extract than we are using. I'll put it that way. Alright, there it is, mana accumulator. So over the course of 20 seconds, we make mana. Researching new buildings. New buildings are unlocked in the mana research menu. Select a research group and pay the mana cost to unlock the building in that group. More advanced research tiers require certain thresholds of cat happiness to be met. Do everything that you can to make sure your cats are as happy as possible in order to make progress. So now we need to unlock the power in the mana research menu, which my head is in the way of. Maybe I should move myself. Here we go. Whoop. There. Perfect. So tier 1, power. This costs 2 mana. We have 1 mana, so I have to wait. There we go. So this will unlock pylons. We need to obviously construct additional pylons. And a wood power generator, which generates power by burning wood. Done. Next, the power grid. The town center generates some power, but in order to power additional production buildings, you will need power generators. Wood power generators produce a lot of power at the cost of wood. To save fuel, generators can be paused in times when you don't need the power. Pylons are used to construct buildings, buildings to the power grid. Production buildings within range of the pylon or town center are able to draw power from the grid. So let's go ahead and build a wood power generator, and I'll put that right here for now. And right now, our average cat happiness, if you're wondering, is 3. Basic hunger and shelter needs are met, and rad foods are being provided. None of them are gloom, touched, sick, or stinky, which only would add negatives. So here, as you can see, there's a negative sign. And there's also a negative sign on ungloom creep. So you can actually have negative happiness if they're all starving, unsheltered, don't offer food, and are sick, your happiness could be below 0 too. So the wood power generator will produce 20 power once it's done, which allows us to then build additional industries. Oh, Condiment's an adult now. Watch out, world. He's gonna catch up. I don't know. Don't be too salty about that joke. As a dad, I have to pepper them in. Okay. We almost have the planks provided for the wood power generator. Almost. And then we'll be cooking. Speaking of condiments. Nice. And the last spot I wanted for the southern Rad farm got cleared. That's it, boss. This settlement is well on its way to becoming a thriving city. When your cats are fed and happy, or keep your cats fed and happy. When in doubt, check the mana research menu for new buildings to unlock. Recommends building a forester to keep up a steady supply of wood. Okay. Next unlock is forestry. Alright, what I'm going to do now is let's go ahead and get another water spout here. And this water spout is going to need a pylon because this water spout, I believe... Actually, I can move it just a little bit to right here, so it falls within the sphere of influence of the town center, so I don't need a pylon. There we go. So now it will be powered. I do plan on getting forestry up. So what we want for that is probably another wood gatherer to clear more of the trees. And then this, with a water spout here, we'll be able to irrigate this area. So I'm going to move the liquid storage here. The other thing to note is our litter box will not cover this area up here. So I'm going to build a litter box up there as well. We're getting ready to add forestry in other words. Another thing, oh, there we go. Unlocking forestry. So there's two types of trees that we can plant. We can plant yellow trees, which every 24 minutes gives us 1 wood, or blue trees every 40 minutes gives us 2 wood. I'm going to do the more efficient blue tree setup. So I'm going to set up a forester here once this tree's cut down. Do litter boxes need to be emptied? They will empty themselves over time, slowly, but they can be filled up. Later on in the tech tree, you'll have the ability to empty them out. But as long as you have multiples and they overlap, you usually won't run into any issues. I'm also going to build another cat home over here. And then probably another mist collector. Because the area around the farm, or the future forestry, is going to need some mist suppression. Okay, so here's the forester. And I might move it a little bit, but that's where it's going to be initially. With our excess power, it would be good... Ooh, we found a relic. So relics... I don't have the ability to make a reliquary just yet, do I? I forget. Oh, that's next research. Perfect. Let's say the highest priority thing is this water spout. So this mist collector is trying to keep the mist from overtaking the farm down this side, and then these two mist collectors are expanding our area to the new irrigated zone. Because more than likely, I'll move the forester up even further north than where it's situated right now. Maybe we'll do another... Well, you know what? I don't have any unassigned workers at the moment. I'm going to intentionally unassign my wood power generator because I don't actually need the wattage. So that cat can be freed up to go do other things. And I'm going to remove one of the farmers as well. My worry is that we just physically didn't have anyone left over to do the building, which was the case. Poker, thank you for the resub. Alright, here's the water spout. And that means this cat's going to be employed at the water spout. So I'm going to need to free up yet another. Which is fine. So for now, I'm going to free up the mani accumulator. Because the water spout has drawn more power than I was producing. Do we need more mist storage? Well, we are now using up twice as much mist for our 2 water spouts. So yeah, we probably will want more storage at some point, but at least at the moment, we should be okay. And we move the forester up a bit. And we still have some free cats to be building. So let's go for a bit of a pop boom. I'm going to build 2 more homes for like 10 more kittens. Because they take a little while to age up, so I want them now so we don't have to wait so long. And we have some stinky cats. And they're stinky because I do not have litter boxes up here to keep them from being stinky. So let's move the litter boxes around so they have better coverage. So there's a little bit of stretch at the southern border that doesn't have litter box cover. But now these litter boxes cover most of everything. Especially once we build this one. Oh, look at it. You know what? I don't know why they all just became stinky. But they'll slowly go away. It only lowers work speed, and for the kittens to be stinky is not much of a problem because the kittens don't work anyway. Okay, we are nearly, well, actually, we're only halfway to max storage for planks. There we go. Now we have a forester. So with this forester, we can start planting blue trees. Now, unlike some games, in this game, foresters will not cut down trees. They plant trees. So you need to keep woodcutters around to cut down the trees that the foresters plant. Otherwise, you just have a lot of trees that are being grown but not harvested. Just keep that in mind. And as we push the fog back up north, we can claim even more land for forestry. Okay, a whole bunch of cats just grew up to adults. So I'm going to put them back to work in the mana accumulator and the wood power generator. Hire back a second farmer, and still have one left over to do the hauling. Looking good. So we are at like maximum mist capacity now. Yeah, let's go ahead and make some more liquid storage. Might as well. We're doing a pretty good job of land clearing around our homes, with the caveat, of course, that it is falling under the sphere of influence of the mist rather fast, as you can see, I'm sure. Next research costs 40, and that will unlock hauling station, cleric, and reliquary. And I'll go over the details of that once we get there. Alright, so this woodcutter doesn't have anything to cut down, so I'm going to move them down to the southeast where there's plenty of trees. And we did find an ink node. So this is another resource node for us to exploit at some point. Thank you for tuning in to Mistpaw Ravine, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhodamont.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhodamont.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I'll have to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow magical cats.